First round of the NGK Superbike series here at Oran Park, the second heat of the Superbike series this year. There will be 8 rounds, 16 races in the NGK series at Calder, Oran Park and Winton Circuit, also at Sandown on November 27. On pole position, the leader of the series to date, Rob Phillips. He has 30 points. Clear leadership after the first round at Calder 2 weeks ago. Beside him, Michael Cole, his former teammate, also on Suzuki. Beside him, Andrew Johnson on bike 7. Paul Feeney, Paul Walker, Bruce Fox, David Shaw and Simon Jones. Then on the second row of the grid, someone to watch, bike 33, the man currently in 4th position in the series, Jeff Tyne, riding the Powerflow Kawasaki. That is the fastest starting bike in Australian motorcycle racing, and he'll be the man to watch off the start. 10 seconds to go, and they're racing.
Rob Phillips has got a problem. He didn't get much traction at all off the line.
83, David Shaw. Suzuki 1000 takes the lead. Now that's a surprise for you. While Andrew Johnson goes through on bike 7 in second position. On bike 8, you can see there, that's David Robbins, winner of the Thunderbike series last year.
Andrew Johnson, Rob Phillips and Mick Cole are all known wet weather riders. However, the track is drying out quite substantially, and I didn't get a chance to see if...
Oh, that's Andrew Johnson, who almost came off his machine.
I noticed Rob Phillips had elected to run rain tyres, but I think Andrew and Mick were running slicks.
Phillips back in 5th position. The race to go Bill Shivers on bike 56.
Tracks like this, John, it's absolutely, it's most treacherous. It's neither raining nor dry, and it's really hard to determine just how fast you can push it.
Shaw relinquishes the lead to Andrew Johnson. Shivers comes through to pass Jeff Tyne. So Tyne on 16 points in the series has no answer on this wet track, but Johnson is really flying. This is a compromise machine that he's on. He's still waiting for his V4 Honda to arrive from the United States. So Team Honda Australia has built up this machine from the 1068cc short-stroke engine which Johnson used last year in his CB 1100R Superbike.
I noticed then they've actually changed from the 16-inch front wheel, which they were using yesterday, back to an 18-inch wheel. So I would presume that they have some wet weather tyres on the bike.
While this is a compromise machine, Johnson says he enjoys it very much, more so than the CB 1100R. He says he can ride it more like an animal. He can get up over the handlebars and really fling the thing around, which is exactly what he's doing there as he strives to open up quite a commanding lead on bike 42. Paul Feeney in second position, still jockeying for position there with David Shaw on 83.
Here comes Dave Robbins. He was actually doing a war dance this morning for rain, or a rain dance. He thought that if it did rain, he could win this race on his Ducati.
That Ducati, incidentally, is the old NCR 860 Ducati, which should have been retired at the end of last year. But the new 700cc Panther, which David was going to build up for this year's season, is not yet ready. So he's pulled the thing down off the wall where he'd put it as a trophy and is going to race it once again. Through into 3rd position goes Davey Robbins. And as he proceeds through the field, Rob Phillips and Michael Cole continue to drop back.
Amazing. A lot of weight on their shoulders because they're running 1st and 2nd in the series, and you can't afford to have a DNF in these series. You're much better to ride around, get your 4th or your 5th, but finish and get your points.
He indulges in a bit of dirt track riding there and gives Davey Robbins the opportunity to go up into 2nd position with 11 laps remaining in the event. Johnson blasts through down the straight.
Certainly what Dave predicted would have been true if the track had been wetter. I think he would have certainly won the race, but because the track's drying out now, we've had no rain for 15 or 20 minutes, that's going to suit the other bikes more.
4th position is Michael Cole, and about 3 seconds behind him is series leader Rob Phillips. There is 6 seconds the difference between Andrew Johnson and Dave Robbins. That's Robbins there in the lead in that shot. Johnson already having proceeded out of picture. That's bike 7 there, Andrew Johnson. Taking all the opportunities in the world to open a commanding lead, which is going to be almost impossible to toss. Now, he's on this bike only to pick up points in the series. He sees himself really challenging for the lead later in the year when he gets his new 860 V4. But 15 big points in this round certainly won't go astray for Andrew Johnson. Johnson, one of the heroes of the Victorian bushfires last week, when he drove his bulldozer, one of 11 being used at the far front for the full week. He is dog-tired at the moment. He has had almost no sleep during the week. He has seen sights which are tragic and horrifying, and he's been deeply shocked and moved by them. And to simply get on a bike and give his concentration the way he's giving it today is something of a superhuman effort in itself.
All these top riders, John, can do that.
There's Glenn Taylor off the track. He may well have put the bike down by the looks of it. That's one of the new V4750 Hondas.
Went out to get a feel of it. He hadn't obviously ridden it in the wet. They only picked it up last week. He's quite impressed with the machine. That'll detune him a little bit for later in the day, because he actually equalled the 750 production lap record yesterday in practice. But as I was saying, Andrew, Rob Phillips, Mick Cole, all those guys, once they actually get themselves on the bike, you forget about any pain, any problems you've got. All you're concentrating on is riding that bike to the best of your ability, and you can just blank everything out of your mind.
Michael Cole, of course, also riding with great pain because he's broken a bone in his left foot, his gear change foot, and it wouldn't be doing him any good at all trying to move that gear shift up and down.
Yeah, that's right. He dropped his toolbox on it from work, and he always seems to have a run of outs, poor old Mick. Every time he comes to Oran Park, he's got some sort of a problem. Generally, this is regarded as Rob Phillis's territory, because he's put in some tremendous performances here at Oran Park on his Superbike, and does actually hold the Superbike lap record at the moment, 1 minute 16.9.
That's David Robbins in second position there. He's 7.5 seconds behind Andrew Johnson, so Johnson opening a small lead, in fact just about holding station on Davey Robbins. So I'd say the hardest riding man in the event at the moment would be Robbins on the old NCR, frankly. Andrew Johnson at the end of the straight as Robbins comes on to the beginning of it.
Andrew's looking for a really good season this year. He's got a range of machinery turning up, and he's really quite confident that he's got his act together. He's very fit, does a lot of training, very much dedicates himself to bike racing.
Noel Layway about to be lapped by Andrew Johnson. Johnson, of course, to have one of the new NS 500 Works Grand Prix racer Hondas to contest the Australian Grand Prix at Bathurst this Easter. The bike soon to arrive. It's a V3 machine with a lot of carbon fibre construction, alloy frame. It weighs about 100 pounds less than the comparable RG 500V Suzukis. So it'll certainly be a bike to be in contention at Bathurst as we look at second place. Third and fourth, of course, we were seeing before Paul Feeney and Mick Cole. Cole in his brand new yellow Dunlop leathers, looking very startling on the track, if nothing else.
Always a bad omen. Riders always worry about wearing brand new leathers until they get a little bit dirty and with the used look about them. You often fall off and damage the things, and a lot of it's psychological.
6 laps remaining, half distance covered. Andrew Johnson has an 8-second lead on Dave Robbins.
Andrew's certainly got the feel for it now. He's looking smoother than he did in the opening laps. He knows the limits of adhesion.
Oh, you were saying
just
that?
as I say that, he does a slide. Very spectacular rider to watch, Andrew. He's the bike wobbles around, and he's generally really trying hard, and always spectacular to watch.
Last year was Rob Phillis's year in the NGK series, however. Of the 10 races constituting the series, Phillis had no fewer than 7 wins and was never below 3rd place. This year, it appears that he's going to have a lot more competition.
Well, I've dropped the capacity limit back to 1,000, and probably made the bikes a little bit more even.
3rd place is Paul Feeney. 4th place right there in the yellow leathers is Michael Cole, and there's the leader again, Andrew Johnson.
Paul Feeney's had a little bit of a run of outs lately. He hasn't figured too much in the results, but people will probably remember a year ago he burst onto the scene and was doing tremendous things. Very hard charging rider, and probably charged a little bit harder than his ability at that stage, but I think he's matured a little bit now and rides a bit more smoothly, and just needs the confidence of a couple of good results.
Certainly he was given a magic engine. It was the Morawaki engine, which
Graham Crosby
had in his last season in Australia.
talking to Rob Phillips yesterday. He's just been negotiated to ride with Graham Crosby over the Suzuka 8-hour this year. That's a real bonus for him. He's ecstatic about that.
Andrew really feeling the limits of adhesion on that track, isn't he? He's going a little bit wider, not necessarily sticking to the dry path that he's been making in the circuit.
I hope his pit crew are informing him that he has such a commanding lead, because quite frankly he shouldn't be riding that hard. He should be taking it easy, not taking any chances with a 7 or 8 second lead. Andrew pretty much knows only one speed now, and that's flat out. They're expecting their new V4 860 Superbikes, which are being built in Japan. Under Australia importing 2 of them. They should arrive in the next 3 or 4 weeks. That's what Andrew's really waiting for. He thinks he can really get into the Superbike series and have a good chance of winning it with this new machine.
Johnson's new teammate this year, of course, to be Mal Campbell, the Tasmanian.
What a pair they'll be. Imagine Malcolm Canberra and Andrew Johnson together. Some of the longer races. 2 of the hardest chargers in Australia. I think this is the opportunity that Malcolm's been waiting for in his racing. He's never had any real substantial backing before, and I'm predicting that when he gets the machinery and the backing and the expertise of the Honda people behind him, he will really get some results.
And Rob Phillips is dropping right back through the field. He's now back in 8th position in the field, behind Andrew Johnson, Dave Robbins, Paul Feeney, Michael Cole, Jeff Tyne, David Shaw, Neil Shivers, and then only then comes Rob Phillips. So I'd say that Phillips must have machine problems.
I would say so for sure, because as I said at the start, he's a renowned weather rider. But Paul Feeney and Mick Cole having a ding-dong battle have been like this for the last 4 or 5 laps. I would think that Mick will extend himself in another couple of laps and get by, because he really wants to get the points on the board, especially that he knows Robbie's behind him. Mick actually riding the Mick Hone bike that he was using last year to finish 2nd in the series. They've done the mechanical work to bring it back to 1,000 cc's. Having some trouble finding sponsorship early in the year, Mick, and but he seemed to have got it together now. Grimshaw Suzuki came and helped him out, and Dunlop Tyres put some money together, and they've come up and bought the bike with the help of Suzuki, and he's looking for a big year too.
Interesting marketing tactic from Grimshaw, actually, because they're renowned as being one of the best or the biggest sellers of off-road machines, and now they're trying to... And there goes Mick now, really challenging, and he's through Feeney. That's experience for you.
Yes, perfect place to pass there, down the inside, control the corner. However,
Feeney under brakes.
Feeney, they're really at it. Look at this there.
Oh, and Michael wouldn't be happy about that at all.
Mick's just got the experience, and Feeney's got the heart, Mick's got the experience. Oh, that's fantastic stuff.
And his experience tells him on a wet track like that to stay right out of it, because you just don't want to be slipping and sliding all over the place.
Interesting if we follow them around to onto the straight to see if there's any performance difference in the Suzuki and the Kawasaki. So as we said, this is the ex-Graham Crosby engine. Rolf Hannon's tuning the bike, and he really knows how to get these Kawasaki's going. Both identical lines through here. So when we get down to the Grand Prix part of the circuit, get most of your passing manoeuvres. Okay, we'll get a good chance here to see how different between the 2 machines.
Both of them taking the change at about the same time. Cole building up speed. And into the braking
the now stuff, well over 100 miles an hour, even in the wet weather through that corner. I don't think Mick will make a mistake this time. He's got his act more together, and Feeney will try.
Look for the hard braking. Yeah, and he's done it.
That'll be upsetting Mick. That's not very nice.
But he left the gate wide open, you've got to say that.
Well, he wouldn't expect him to come diving down the inside out of control like he did. Mick's a really nice guy, and he could probably go and have something to say to Paul, I'd say, after this race. We've still got about 3 laps to go, so I think there's still time. He might be a little bit more brutal, I think, when he passes him next. Not give him quite as much room.
Feeney in 5th position in the series on 11 points, having taken a 6th and a 5th place in the first round at Calder 2 weekends ago.
And Mick's passed him twice at the end of the straight, so Feeney will know that's the spot where he's going to try and do it again, and we'll see. Interesting to see if he has a counter manoeuvre.
Well, certainly the Suzuki faster down there. And again, the big braking effort, but has Mick left it too late? No.
Right. Now, Mick won't leave a gap this time, I'm sure.
Noel Away again to be double lapped now by the field. As bike 07, Rob Newbigging from Queensland, also gets in the way.
This is a critical part. You really got to try just to put one of those lap riders between you, which he's done. One. Oh, they both got through. Those poor guys will go, wow, what's happened? We had 2 bikes come through at that sort of speed. That's where they can learn a lot. When you get the A-graders lapping in a race like this, it's probably the only chance you get to follow them for a little while, although you're not there for long. But it can sort of really boost you up when the guys to the calibre of these 2 riders go past you, and sort of get you excited.
Blue flag comes out now to Andrew Johnson, going down on the last lap.
I'd suggest Paul Feeney here will have a big go when he sees that blue flag. As I said, he's got a big heart, and he'll certainly go for it.
In 2nd position still is Dave Robbins. Then comes through in 3rd position Michael Cole, being followed right on his tail by Paul Feeney. 1 lap to go. Can Feeney do it? There's Johnson, the leader. Going to Coca-Cola corner for the last time in this first heat. Another 12 laps to come later this afternoon.
There's a definite dry line around the circuit now. You can see where everyone's been using basically the same piece of road, and it's drying out quite substantially.
Manny Blanco about to be overtaken by race leader Andrew Johnson. Blanco riding the Masaki 1000.
Manuel was telling me this morning he was all fired up to go for it today until it rained. Andrew's done a good job here. He's won this quite convincingly.
And in winning it quite convincingly, he takes the lead in the NGK series after 3 rounds, having taken a 2nd and a 3rd at Calder last weekend, and now 2 weekends ago rather, and now a 1st here. And only just getting the checkered flag, as once again the Oran Park checkered flag trap almost catches someone out. And into 2nd place going through, Dave Robbins. Likes to be called an evergreen rather than a veteran, does our David. And now coming through for 3rd position, here's the race to the checkered flag, and it's Paul Feeney.
Feeney got past him.
Feeney got past Michael Cole to take 3rd position in the motorcycle race, so Paul Feeney takes 10 points for that to give him 21 points in the event.
Would have been interesting to see where he did that, because he was about 12 or 10 or 12 bike lengths going down the straight behind Mick, so it would have been a real heart-in-the-mouth manoeuvre somewhere around the back of the circuit.
And the point score, Andrew Johnson now on 37 points, leads Rob Phillips on 33, Michael Cole on 30, and Paul Feeney on 21.